These LiTime batteries are the most popular batteries I've seen reviews for. And because I don't trust everything that I see, I decided to test them myself. 1700, 1700, 1800, 1800 again, 1800 again, still 1800. The experience out of the box, it's quite unique. This is one of the brands with the most comprehensive manual out there. I've been doing solar and lithium iron phosphate for a while, and reading through the manual, I actually learned a couple of things. It's written in plain English and everything you need is in it. They cover everything that you need to know, but the things that I want to mention is that they are lithium iron phosphate, so they're rated for about 4,000 cycles of charge. They have a maximum amp that you could charge them at, which is about 100 amps, but they recommend 20. It basically needs 5 hours to get from 0 to 100%. Now in a pinch, you could force them to charge them faster, but I always emphasize on what is recommended versus what it can handle. It's standard size, 7, 13, 9, those are the dimensions. What is really nice about it is something I haven't seen on other brands, and we're gonna test that today. Maximum continuous discharge current 100 amps, but they have a 5-second while they can deliver 250 amps. So when you have surges for very, very short periods of times, this BMS can actually handle more. These are the things that I want to mention, but in the manual you have a lot of information about how many and how to hook them up. They could be hooked up in a 4P4S, that means they could go in a series and in parallel, so you could have a lot of wattage for your house if you're going to put them in your house. Also, they can stay in any direction, upside down, whatever. Lithium iron phosphate, very durable, so you can put them in a van, you could shake them, you can move them, you don't care. And with this introduction, let's get into it. Let's charge them, discharge them, see if they can handle the workload that I need. Standard terminals, left and right, very safe batteries. They recommend gloves because of the safety reasons, but as I said, you could touch them, not much happens. In each package, you could get 4 bolts. You only need 2. Also, you get caps. You have a little handle so you could move them around. This is pretty convenient. Also, when they arrive to your house, they come about 50% charged. So the first thing that I recommend is not only charge them, but if you put them away every 3 months, they need to be discharged and recharged. That's to protect the cells inside the battery. Remember, these batteries are meant to put to work. It's time to put these lithium-ion batteries by LiTime on the charger and see how much power it goes in. Really early in the morning, let's see how much power we got in. It's full, so it says it's full. That's awesome. That's a lot of power that went in this thing. This is actually bigger than it says it is. One of the few times where you actually get more than advertised. Those cells are really good. Let's see how much power this one can handle if we discharge it. They are rated 100 amps. 100 amps by 12 volts, it's 1200 watts. This it's 1500 watts, but it only pulls about 1200. Okay, maximum power, 1200 watts. So we're pulling 1137 right now out of the inverter, but we're running at 12.02 volts, 1197 watts. So we know we can handle 100 amps, because that's exactly 100 amps out of the battery. But can it handle more? And then we're going to add another 750. 1700, 1700, 1800, 1800 again, 1800 again, still 1800. Wow. So it's maintaining more than 5 seconds. Every alarm is going off because I'm overpassing what this one can handle. I'm passing over what this one can handle. This is only 2000 watts, it's reaching the limit. And I'm still pulling 1800. Wow. I'm not even gonna try more than this. I'm gonna break something. Okay, so I'm gonna believe the manual, and here's why. 1200, 500. This is rated 1500, this is rated 750. But you're never gonna draw the maximum. And why am I saying that I'm going to trust the manual? Because even though these batteries are one of the few batteries that can deliver more than actually is written in the manual is written for safety reasons. I was able to pull from one LiTime battery 1800 watts. That's already converted. It was pulling even more. I think it was pulling 200 amps out of these batteries. And the battery still held up for more than 5 seconds, what the manual says. But why do they say 250 amps for 5 seconds. And I want to be very, very clear because this involves safety. This is 6-gauge wire. And it got a little bit warm pulling that many amps. Even though this inverter is rated for 2000 watts, and these are the cables that came with it, it got a little bit hot. These are 4-gauge wires. As you can see, they're a little bit thicker, are rated for 200 amps. And even these get hot when you pull 200 amps. Inside this battery, the cells are organized in a pack here in the middle, and there is a BMS board either on the side or on the top that can handle everything. But the BMS is connected with wires internally, and they are not as thick as this. They're not even as thick as this. Sometimes they are 8-gauge wires, maybe they're 10-gauge wires, because each cell has its own wire. That's why they put the safety rating in it. So you have to follow the safety rating. You should not discharge them more than 100 amps. You should not charge them more than 100 amps. Also recommended 20 amps. So can it do it? Yes. But you should always be aware of that. Okay, another experiment just finished. Now, let me give you some numbers. So I let them run with this heater to heat up my garage while I was doing some other work. And I pulled a little bit over 1,000 watts out of it. Now, why I don't have the data is because last time when I checked last night, it was 1,011 watts. And then the BMS cut off and went to sleep. It doesn't mean that it has 1,000 watts only in it. There are losses in the system. The resistance for the wire, because they get hot, they lose a little bit of energy. Also, the inverter has big fans and it had to cool itself off. So not only that I was heating my garage with this thing, but I also heating my garage with this thing because this was putting up a lot of heat. So last time I saw it, it was 1,011 watts. This one was pulling about 550 watts and it ran over 2 hours. I got distracted for a second and the BMS just quit because it ran out of power and then everything stopped. The BMS is specifically designed to manage these cells and they stay as balanced as possible. But also the BMS has balancing. Because it has balancing, you have to discharge them and recharge them every 3 months. It's specifically written in the manual and it's very, very important. I've lost the battery from a different brand because of that. So I had to buy expensive balancing boards to revive it, and even today it's not running at its full potential. Lithium iron phosphate batteries are also very durable, but the space is a little bit crowded. I had better brands in his garage and I had brands that didn't really stack up. I would put these batteries towards the top. My next video, I'm going to integrate them into my battery backup system for the house. I have a 2S, 2 in series, 24 volt, 4P, so 4 stacks of this kind of batteries. And I'm going to see how they get along with the other batteries that I have in my battery backup system. But that's going to be the next video, and if you see my icon or if you see that video being posted, watch it. You might learn some more stuff later on. With that being said, I appreciate you watching these videos, and if you watch this one on Amazon product page, I think that these batteries are really, really awesome, and they're famous for one reason. They deliver what's on paper. I put them towards the top of all the batteries that I've tested. Safe, reliable, go for it. Thanks for watching.